Okay, I got cut out earlier because there was a lot of noise outside, so I decided to end it because the neighbors were making too much noise. So I'm gonna keep going with the Esme Bianco and Marilyn Manson accusations, but there's something interesting. I know it's out there, but about these accusations, Esme Bianco has a best friend. Her name is Ashley Walters. Smashly is her name on Instagram. And they've been best friends since forever. Ashley Walters used to be one Marilyn Manson assistant from 2010 to 2012. Now, this is interesting because she's another person that named him on February 1st. This whole thing happened in like 2 weeks, or less than that, on Instagram, not at the police station, not at court, on Instagram. And she's not saying she's the only thing she's pretty much saying everything else everybody's saying minus the sex part. But again, a statement that it seems that they wrote it all together over frappuccinos at Starbucks. Really, it does. It's so unbelievably fake. And I'm sorry. Like I said, I wish I believed them. I just don't. So the thing with this girl is that she kind of like shot herself on the foot because there are a lot of pictures of her on Instagram, pictures of Manson that she liked, a lot of pictures of her that Manson took, pictures of her next to Manson's paintings in Marilyn Manson's house. So she had all this interaction all the way until it was a positive interaction, all the way until now, supposedly. So Esme Bianco named him, Evan Rocha would name him, all in the same week. And now this girl, Ashley Walters, also is part of the coven, I will call him, because that's what it seems like, to bring him down. Now, she seems like the one that has less proof. Not like the other ones have proof, but hers is like the most ridiculous one. There's also Ashley Morgan, but I'm going to talk about that after. So there's like four main girls. Amy Rocha Wood, Esme Bianco, Ashley Waters, and Ashley Morgan, which is insane, the level of like just made up stuff. Ashley Morgan also says that he human trafficked her, even if she's American. I don't know, but because she was in Hong Kong or something like that, and he got her here for a video. They just keep going on this, like they're trying to bank on this, like, well, Manson is a slacker, so maybe he doesn't get his videos done in time, or maybe it's just the industry, it's the way it works. So they're taking advantage of that. It's like, oh, he got me here to make this video, and then the video wasn't made. Well, videos don't get made all the time. This is like the business, how it goes. It's ridiculous. So I'm just gonna read Ashley. Get on she's on Instagram all over the place. I'm not following her. I am following Esme Bianco whatsoever. I mean, I don't want to, but I am because I need to keep up with ridiculousness. So Ashley Walters on February 1st, the same day that Esme Bianco posted on her Instagram. Mind you, they're best friends. That's what my thumbnail is. It's a picture of them, and there's plenty of pictures of them together. I'm not making anything up. So she says, Brian Warner, Marilyn Manson, reached out to me on social media in 2010, asking if we could collaborate in a photo shoot together. As a photographer and an admirer of his work, groupie, I was excited for the opportunity. We quickly became friends, and after about 6 months, he asked me to come work for him full-time as his personal assistant, period. These chicks happen to have the same thing in common. Not Evan, just a different thing, but this last two. He asked me to come work for him, and you accepted and you went work for him, whatever work it was. It was like personal assistant work, or it was singing, or it was like, being his model, whatever. You accepted whatever work it was. And it's really vague. The personal assistant title, I hate that they keep using that because it's so vague. You can literally be somebody's personal assistant in Hollywood, and all you gotta do is get this person to take their medication and get their makeup done and get their go buy them coffee every single day. That's the personal assistant. Can be anything. Personal assistant can be 24/7. You have to be there, either at the person's house or not. Usually, yes. And being the personal assistant of somebody like him, or any type of rock star, any type of musician, any type of like wild character, it has to be stressful and it has to be really demanding, but it comes with a job and you're getting paid for it, not unpaid labor. Um, so she said, we quickly became friends, and after 6 months, he asked me to come work for him. In the beginning, he would put me, put me on a pedestal, and it will tell me I was saving his life. He frequently say things like, "It's us against the world, baby." I don't think he said that, but okay. We became extremely close, which I do believe that, like family. We even got matching tattoos. So they got matching tattoos. It's not the first girl that he gets tattoos with, right? He presented his house as a safe space, rent-free space. Did you see that? There's a similar thread in all this and remind me of Amber Heard's friends. It's like they all live in this guy's houses for free, and then they say it's not safe anymore, but it was like free and safe for at least 6 months. 6 months of not paying rent is pretty good deal to me. But yeah. So we got to do okay. Where you could express yourself for his house as a safe space, freely and without any judgment. I didn't realize he was gathering information. This is when these girls made Manson sound like a Russian spy out of a movie. And when I think of Marilyn Manson, he said it himself. He doesn't even know how to type in a computer. Like I don't see him doing all this. Maybe somebody else, but I don't see him gathering all this information and just and making fake accounts and blackmailing people and making like catfishing people. This is what he's been accused of by this girl. But information he later will use against me. I soon became a victim of his psychological abuse. Because she can't say that she slept with him, because she's definitely not his type. Otherwise, she would have said that. Now she's saying that it was, she was abused while the course of her employment with him as a personal assistant, which it has to be one of the most vague things to say. Oh, I'm your personal assistant. Like kind of like, I can ask you to make mac and cheese for me every day, and you better do it if I'm paying you. That's it. And that's not unpaid labor. That is like you're getting paid to be on your feet all the time, whatever the person needs. And if you don't like it, then you can get another job. But it seems like they were doing fine for at least 6 months. And it seems like she didn't get to pay any rent, right? I didn't realize he was getting information that he later used against me. I soon became a victim. They love the V word. I soon became a victim of his psychological abuse. He was very skilled at gaslighting. Everybody's using that term. I don't like to use that term loosely because I know exactly what it means. But I feel like everybody's using it on YouTube or on Instagram. Like, oh, I got gaslight. Okay. Definition of gaslighting. When you put somebody's insane, when you make somebody else think that they're insane, if I put your word in doubt, I would go like, you go like, whoa, that is red. And I'm like, no, it's not. They're like, no, it's red. I can take a picture of it, show you it's red. No, it's not. You're losing it. That's gaslighting. What Amber Heard lawyers did to the judge in Virginia 2 days ago, it was gaslighting. Oh, they're trying to get into your head. That's gaslighting. Gaslighting is not cheating. Gaslighting is not doing drugs. Gaslighting is not spanking. Gaslighting is not being ghosted. Being gaslighted is pretty much you doubt yourself and your own sanity. And this person, whoever it happens to be, is making you doubt yourself. Like I had an ex-boyfriend that did that to me, and it was crazy because for like 24 hours, I thought I was insane. It's crazy. The good feeling that I got after I realized that I wasn't insane, that he was just gaslighting me, was amazing. It was amazing. Because I was like, wait, he just prepared all this. He plotted all this thing and told me that I was crazy. I was imagining things. I should take medication for it. And then I went to his computer and I found out the thing that he was denying that it happened, and it did happen. I was like, oh my God. So this did happen. Thank God for computer history and stupid people that don't delete it. If it wasn't for that, I thought I was crazy. Because he would look at me and go like, No, that didn't happen. That email wasn't there. I never wrote that. No. And you really are, it depends on the type of situation and who it is. You really are understand, you really start believing that you're crazy. So happened to me. I know exactly what it feels like and I know what it is. And it's not the same that abuse, ghosted, cheated on. It's not the same. But let's just use it. Gaslighting. All these girls being gaslighted. Very skilled at gaslighting his inner circle. I witnessed him inflict his psychological abuse on everyone he employed. He treated me by like shit, all of them. Everyone he dated. Everyone. I have a problem when people use absolutes. When you go everyone, forever, never, always. Those are absolutes. You get yourself in a pickle when you use that. I had a therapist once that before I started studying like psychology that told me don't use absolutes. You really never know what's going to happen. I would say I will never be with that person. I will never do that job. I will never. She was like, don't use absolutes because absolutes are a lie. So for her to say everyone he dated, he abused everyone he employed. There's no way you can prove that by just saying the word everyone. That's not proof. He will dictate the parameters of a reality. Horrifying, deranged behavior and insane scenarios became normalized. It's really like, it's hard to read this without acting because it's like a novel. Became normalized. He was extremely interested in mind control, torture tactics, different sound frequencies that would shift your mood and make your reality different or make you nauseous. Spy devices to gather information for blackmailing and manipulation. So Manson is again, it's like James Bond or something. He's like, he's is that thing on? No, he has these devices. I'm telling you, I don't even imagine the guy driving a car or checking his email because he doesn't know how to. He had said that he doesn't know how to use a computer. So it's really funny that this person is saying this. He has his devices gathering information for blackmail and manipulation. It felt like I was his property. She doesn't have an accent, but I like to do that. It felt like it was his property because he will offer me for sexual encounters to please potential collaborators or friends or bandmates and brag that he could do so. Remember when Esme Bianco said the same thing in her testimony that she was offered to bandmates or to roadies or to helpers and he offered her around? This girl is saying the same thing. I mean, there's like absolute no proof of that offering, and nobody else come out and say, you know what? Yeah, I was there that day and that night that he was offering this girl to me. I mean, I want to see that narrative. I want to see the emails or the text messages of Manson going like, yeah, you want, I have a girl for you that I can offer to you tonight. Like, where is that? That's not, I haven't seen it yet. None of us haven't seen it yet. So where is it? You have to prove. You can't just accuse somebody of something so disgusting and I have to believe you at face value because you're a woman. I mean, or because you're friends with the other one. So you might be telling the truth because I refuse. I just, okay, no. Brag me around. He could be, yeah, he was happy with me. Well, what? To be potential collaborators or bandmates and brag that he could do so. He threatened me if I said that I wasn't happy or be made to be impossible task, so he could continue to berate me and abuse me. He isolated me, this part. He isolated me from my friends and family. There's plenty of pictures and little snip videos of her on her Instagram, going to concerts, seeing this, seeing that, going to Coachella. Probably she hang out with Amber Heard at Coachella. Plenty of things like that. These people are not isolated. They're not. Isolated is when you are in a cult, and wearing a white robe, and this guy is telling you don't get off the car because you just can't move without that person's permission. That's isolation. That's a cultish thing that it happens all the time, and that's a crime. That's horrible. This is not what happened to these girls. They're so isolated, but they go to rock concerts. You see pictures of them at Starbucks, at Coachella, all the music festivals, at the airport. You don't seem so isolated to me. He isolated me from my friends and family. Sometimes I wouldn't be allowed to leave for days. Sometimes He frequently oh, what? Computer's gonna die. He frequently, computer's gonna die. So that would not be really smart. So I'm just going to plug it and keep going because I don't want to do this like again 100 times. Plug this thing. All right. She is plugged. Just go. All right. She, yeah, my computer is a she. Here under the slide. Okay. So Ashley Waters. Okay. He frequently became violent, throwing items, including glass plates and heavy objects. This sounds just like Amber Heard. Oh my God, he threw a bottle. There's no proof you can't prove that he did. But also what's messed up is that you can't prove that he didn't. So I think that's what scares me about this whole thing. She cannot prove that he did, but he can, they can say, well, he was all the time high on drugs, or he blacked out, or he was all over the place. So we don't know. He doesn't, maybe he did it. He doesn't remember. I really hope they don't go on that route because that would suck. I fear for my safety or the safety of others. I let management know when I was having an exceptionally bad experience with him, but they say things like, it is what it is. He's done worse before. Just deal with it. And send me back to work. Again, rent-free and all that. Just let's remember that. Sometimes I was too scared to tell management anything. She just said that she told management everything. Anyway, sometimes I was told it was my fault because I wasn't setting enough boundaries. Well, you probably were not setting enough boundaries. A year or so later, our professional relationship ended. So it's only like less than a year. So she worked for him for only 6 months. They were friends for only a year. And these people talk about him like they know him his whole life. And it's just really weird. It's like just really short periods of time. And then the people that know him forever, like Dita Von Teese and Rose McGowan and Alice Cooper and Ozzy Osbourne, the people, Johnny Depp, they know Manson for the last 15 or 20 years. None of their statements are being into consideration, none of their opinions of Manson. But these girls that know him from 6 months to 2 years, that's really short time. That really is. They're being taken serious, and that's just, I don't understand. I don't get that. I don't understand it. He threatened my financial security. You know what that means? He fired you. I think that's what the way that they word this is the same when Esme said that she was trafficked, and then because she was cleaning his house and making him breakfast, that was unpaid labor. It's ridiculous, and this is the same that she did here. He threatened my financial security. That means you got fired. It happens. I don't see that as abuse. I don't. I mean, it sucks. I don't see that as abuse. By then, I grew close with several of Manson's bandmates and girlfriends and friends. One of these people that she's talking about is Esme Bianco. What a coincidence, right? I witnessed them at their own stage of having their world be controlled by him and his abusive tactics. It took me a long time to fully realize she's using the same words and the other ones. It took me a long time to fully realize and process the trauma, the T word out there, the trauma I went through and witnessed. My very first panic attack occurred while working there. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I have a problem with that because I know how these things go. And this is not, people throw this so easy. Like, you're freaking out because you don't have enough money in your card to pay for this stuff at the store. Yeah, it sucks. You're freaking out. You should just deep breathe and call the bank and be like, what's going on? That's not a panic attack. That is just you are worried about something. A panic attack, seriously, I mean, these people don't know what they're talking about. And if she was having panic attacks, then she would have been prescribed medication, because you cannot deal with that type of mental problem with that medication. You think you're gonna die, even if you know deep down you're not dying, but you think you're about to die. That's how it is so horrible. And I work with so many people that have this for real. That's what it makes me mad. That they're using all this diagnosis right there. Oh, I got panic attack. I got post-traumatic stress. I got bipolar because of him. I got depression. I got OCD. It's just really not. I don't know where's all what medication you take. How many times you go to therapy? Are you complying with treatment? Are you doing something for this? You can't just say, I have this, I have that, and no proof. Maybe they're going to shut my mouth, and then eventually everybody's going to show up with all these notes from doctors that we're supposed to be taking serious, I guess. But they'll say, oh, yeah, she has this. Even if they say that, I want to know when she started having it, if she's taking medication for it, and what role he plays onto her panic attacks, because there's no way she can prove that it's because of him that she had a panic attack. You know what I mean? It's impossible. My very first panic attack occurred when I was working with him. I suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and struggle with depression. Yeah, if you have one, you probably have the other one, girl. I stay in touch with quite a few people who went through the same trauma with him. She's talking about best buddy Esme Bianco. And she also knows Emerald Wood. It's weird. They all know each other. As well as the struggle as a survivors, we all did. I kept hearing stories extremely similar to our own experiences. It became clear the abuse he caused. He continues to inflict on so many others, and I cannot stand by and let this happen to other women. Of course, just women, because Manson would not abuse a guy. Why not? Like, why? Brian Warner needs to be held accountable. Ashley Waters. And she has a bunch of comments saying, I'm sorry what happens to you, honey. I'm sorry to hear this. Sending you so much love. Stay strong. You're so brave. You're so courageous. All that stuff. And, it gets to the point that these people getting some type of high. I do believe this actually is a thing. I don't know the medical term for it, but it's this victim mentality high thing that is just adrenaline. It's like when you're pregnant. I was pregnant twice. And everybody goes like, look so beautiful. My God, you're so lucky. You just get into, you start believing, well, I'm special just because I have somebody in my belly. Like, I'm not that special. But they make you believe that you are. It's like, oh, you're so special because you're a victim. You're so strong. You're so brave. Oh my God, what would you do without you? You be strong. And they start going, and they make everything political. That's what I can't stand about these girls. Amber Heard did the same thing. She went from the bruise on the cheek to talk about divorce, to talk about settlement, to talk about restraining orders, to get the $7 million, and then to start doing her activism and talk about Me Too and talking about being bisexual all the time. That always pisses me off about her, that she talks about being bisexual like it's like an Oscar that you won an award. And they take the abuse and then they turn into something that they're getting. If they're not getting money, they're getting attention and followers, and they're getting press. And press is priceless in this town. Like, it might not be money in the form of a paycheck, but once you have press and everybody's talking about you, and everybody thinks you're a victim, it's priceless. That's something that you can't really buy. But also at the same time, you cannot prove this. You cannot prove that he is the cause of your panic attacks. Unless there's text messages and there's things between you and your doctor, and there's exact dates and where you were in his house, and then this happened to you, and then you got a bruise, and then you got a panic attack, and you were leaving his house. There has to be some type of back and forth. Otherwise, it's just you saying stuff. And all this, it's just people saying stuff. And then there's one from Esme Bianco. She just loves to do this. See, she posted this in 2020 before she named him. It's a picture of her crying. Okay, like, that's Esme Bianco. This is the stuff that she posts on Instagram to make people believe that she is a poor thing. What would you do that? Look how staged that looks like. That looks staged. Probably, maybe she was sad, but that looks staged. It's like for my makeup to do this, I have to seriously rub my eyes. If you're just crying, it doesn't do that. So anyway, that is just my opinion. But it says, this post is not intended to glamorize depression. The intention is to show you that behind every image, there's a story. In this photo, I have a full face of makeup. I just stepped out the stage after performing a sold-out show. My career was flourishing. But behind the smiles and sparkles, this is like a book. They're like writing poetry here on this Instagram thing. But behind the sparkles, I was deeply unhappy. I was suffering horrendous panic attacks. There you go. The P word again. Panic attack. Panic attack. Panic attacks numerous times a day, to the point that either leaving or returning to my home would trigger an episode. Okay. She said right there, going back home would trigger an episode. Are you sure he was the reason for that? It couldn't be anything else or anybody else that was triggering your episodes? I mean, yeah, but let's pin it on the easy target, just like she did, the other chick did with Johnny. Same thing. But look at the wording of this. Is I know she's an actress, but you don't have to. This is Instagram. You don't have to treat it like you're going for an audition, lady. Okay. So she said, my lashes have begun to fall from the stress, or eyelashes were falling. That's possible. That does happen, but still. My eyelashes have fallen from stress, and I couldn't eat without crippling stomach pain. I was in an abusive relationship, although I had idea at the time what was happening to me. I actually sent this photo to my abuser as a cry for help. So she said she sent this to Marilyn Manson. She sent this as a cry for help. You see how staged that is? The perfect eyebrows and the hair is perfect, and like her makeup goes like this. And when you cry, I know because I do, like everybody else, and I wear eyeliner. It doesn't do that unless you just rub it on for a picture. So I actually sent this photo to my abuser as a cry for help, hoping that he will see my suffering and do something. But of course he didn't. I contemplated suicide. See, this is another thing I have a problem with. When they're trying to throw it out there like it's so. I knew that I couldn't do it. I feel very lucky to have that I survived. I survived. I did. Period. I feel lucky I have survived. Survive, I did. She sounds like Yoda or something anyway. Survive, I did. Oh my God, it keeps going. I know right now someone is reading this who is feeling like I did back then. I want you to know you're not alone. You matter. You are needed on this earth, even if you don't know the reason why. I know it's dark and very, 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 very lonely. She said, no, very, very like 3 times where you are, but I hope that somehow you find the strength to hold on until tomorrow. Then the hashtags. She's the queen of hashtags. World Suicide Prevention Day. She posted this on Suicide Prevention Day. Like, I thought your problem was, you got abused and raped and human trafficked and unpaid labor and you got tortured. And now you're talking about suicide. Like, she's jumping on everything she could jump on. And she posted this with hashtags. I mean, if I was so messed up, I don't know if I could be like, have the time to do all this, first of all, and then do all these hashtags, You matter, domestic violence awareness, mental health awareness. That is okay, mental health awareness. I understand that. World Suicide Prevention Day. She never talked about suicide before or after this, but she posted this on September 10th, which is Suicide Prevention Day. And it's so staged. And that's Esme, which is best friends with Ashley Waters, the person I was talking about before. Then there's something very weird that also Esme Bianco, and this is Marilyn Manson Defenders and whatever. This one is from them. They have a really cool page on Instagram. And this is out there, so we can all share it. There's a picture of Esme with really cool high heels on and really cool stockings. I think they're cool. And look what it says. There's only ways for me to show it like this because I don't have a screenshot of this thing. It says, whip me, bite me, on the back of her legs. Whip me, bite me. This picture is from 2015. She said all this happened in 2011. Well, this is from 2015. So she was not wearing this for him. Whip me, bite me. And then she says, holy cake, explosion smokes. It's my birthday. May 25th, 2015. That's her birthday, so May 25th. Happy name day to me. This plush. The photo was taken by who? Ashley Waters, the person who was doing the accusations before. All these pictures are taken by Ashley Waters. It's not a coincidence. Like, come on now. And she was wearing the stockings, pretty sexy, cool. They're cool looking. I probably would wear that. Maybe I would. I wouldn't. I don't know. And it says, "Whip me, bite me." I can't make it bigger, can I? Shoot. It says, "Whip me, bite me." You can go find it on her. Well, she deleted this post. Of course, it's from 2015, so she either deleted or deleted it herself because it's too old. But the Marilyn Manson people on Instagram got it. Whip me, bite me, right there. Okay, that's her name. She posted that. What in the what? I'm not saying that because you're wearing that you suppose you survive, you deserve to get abused. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because you're sexy you deserve to get raped. I'm not saying that. But the one thing you talk about him whipping you and how the whip marks are so horrible and all that, and you're wearing these leggings in 2015 when you're supposed to be having all this post-traumatic stress disorder, because this is 2015, so this is 4 years after you got abused and all that by Manson, and you have the stockings that say "Whip me, bite me," and she's like, "Holy cake explosion! It's my birthday, so it's supposed to be a happy thing, right?" I mean, I can go all day with her. I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous. Then there's pictures of her where she labeled herself as meat. She has something over her forehead that says meat. It's too risky. It's too risque to show on YouTube. Well, yeah, it is. But go find it, look it up. Esme Bianco labeled herself as meat. Participated in bondage events, rubber ball skin, torture garden. I mean, it sounds really bad when I say torture garden. And it's just a club that people go there and have agreements and either being somebody submissive or being somebody's dominatrix, and just agreements and then play. It was just a club, but the torture word sounds bad. There's pictures of her in the torture garden. There's one that I post on there that she has a hat and it says meat on it on her forehead, like she's labeling herself as meat. That plus the "whip me, bite me" post and all that, it's like just really and what's interesting is that it's the same thing with Evan Roger Wood. Now they're all saying they don't know what bondage was. They don't know. They got introduced by it or forced on it by him. And there's proof there's not proof of Evan Rachel Wood doing bondage and fetish before Manson. She was so young, so there's not going to be. But there's a lot of proof that of Esme and Ashley taking pictures of Esme tied up. Ashley taking pictures of Esme stepping in a cake with stockings that say "Whip me, bite me." Okay, I don't know anymore. So then, like, I really don't know anymore. And there's another one here of her. She's stepping into some guy's back and she's riding the guy like the guy was a pony or something. This is very normal in that type of community when there's a power exchange. They call it power exchange. Sometimes it's not even a sexual thing. Sometimes it's like you feel like somebody owns you and you own somebody. It's a whole bondage thing. And sometimes it's not sexual. Sometimes it's just play. And she was very much into that. I don't know in the present time, but she was very much into that. She was not 19 like Evan Roger Wood. When she was with him, she was at least 30 years old. You're 30 years old ass grown woman. You're not going to tell me that you don't know how it is to be spanked. You don't know why you're wearing the stockings you're wearing that says "bid me, whip me." You don't know why you're wearing that. Somebody put that on your legs. You don't know. So you're 30 years old. You can't just be playing so naive and such a little fragile flower. And I used to like her, and I like her as an actress, but I find myself being like very just disgusted with all this thing. And there's so many more, but these are the three most important ones, I think. Roger Wood, Esme Bianco, and Ashley Waters, and they all know each other. And you can say, well, in Hollywood, everybody knows everybody. No. There's a lot of people that don't know everybody. So there's so many people that you can be friends with, but why they all know each other? It's just weird. So now Esme doing this to Manson and putting finally make a filing a lawsuit. I think is a good thing that she did, because this is going to give us some info on what he's going to respond. His lawyer already responded. So some of the things that she filed last Friday is about the human traffic thing before. I don't want to keep saying the word, but pretty much it's not what happened to her. Human traffic definition is when you are being transported from state to state, city to city, country to another country for the purpose of selling you as a bride, as a object, pretty much, or for the purpose of getting something from your body. Like a lot of people get this is horrible, but this does happen. Remove organs. They remove your organs. Seriously, this happens everywhere. It's horrible, and this happens to children too. So for her to throw the human traffic word like that so loosely is makes me nauseous. It's not okay. So moral of her filing, Esme Bianco filing, is this. I did the video earlier on half of it, so I'm doing this on the other half because it's long, because she got a lot to say. So, and the pretense that he was bringing her from the UK to be on a music video that was never made. I touch on that. She was married, by the way, in the UK. She left the husband there to come here to work for Manson. Okay, I'm not judging her on being unfaithful, whatever, as her business, but where's the husband statement? Where's this guy? Like, why he doesn't, if his ex-wife is getting beat up and abused this way, how come the ex-husband, even if he might have bitter feelings with her about the whole thing, you don't think that he will say something, that he will have some type of statement somewhere? And maybe there's some email exchange that maybe we can all see from her to the ex-husband, or from her to her family, saying, oh my God, I need to escape the situation. He is abusing me. This is so bad. No, she hasn't produced any of that. So she's just saying it. We have to believe it because she says it. It's like the weather channel, the weather person on the news. It says it's going to rain and it's going to snow. You believe it because he's pointing at it. This is the same thing these chicks are doing. It's a brainwash. It's a mind fuck. Seriously. So, she met him after his divorce. You know what's weird is that Dita, his wife, God bless her. I mean, like, she really is brave. And she's not jumping into the accusation train. They introduced each other. That's really weird. She introduced Esme to Manson. Dita did. So they were friends for a while, like long distance friendship. And then he was with Venerocha Wood, so she wouldn't be with him because he was already taken. But then eventually, it's almost like they were in line waiting. Like, he got divorced, and then Venerocha Wood got together with him, and then he got separated by Venerocha Wood, and then this chick, Esme Bianco, got in it. It's really strange. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Life happens like that, but it's really weird. He pursued Bianco, allegedly asking her for nude pictures of herself. Listen, again, Manson can just go online and see naked pictures of her. He doesn't have to ask. And also, if he really wants pictures of naked girls and wants to do some type of weird thing in his house, do you think that he needs to bring somebody from the UK here? Just hold the phone and say, hey, I would like a girl tonight and a guy to do this, this, and that. That's it. Get it done. I don't think that he has to have her, holy Esme Bianco, actress of Game of Thrones, from traffic from the UK to here just for a music video with him. Obviously, he did because he really liked her as an actress and he wanted her in her music video. And she's making it sound like that's perverse and dark, and it's not. If he just wanted to mess with her and play around like a toy, he could have gone a local toy. You don't have to get somebody who lives in the other side of the world to be your sex, I don't want to say slave, object. You don't have to. You can just get somebody from the same city that you live. So I don't know who she's flattering herself so much by saying that although this whole thing was on purpose, is to have her as a sexual object. She found out that there was no crew present, so there was no music video being filmed, and then she was expected to stay at his house, like it's so bad, rather than in the hotel they had previously been booked. It claimed the Warner did not give her food for 4 days of the shoot. Instead of gave her alcohol and drugs, making her wear underwear and high heels the entire time for 4 days, not allowing her to sleep and to be on call. She needed to be on call 24 hours a day for this video, the shooting of this video that we never got to see. But it's not because it doesn't exist or because he didn't intend it to exist. It's because all the reasons, who knows why. But she's pretty much saying that he made this whole thing up just to get her and use her and spend a bunch of money trafficking her from Europe to here. During the shoot, Esme claims that Brian Warner acted erratically. Yeah, Esme only mentioned he's gonna be cuckoo. I don't know. At one point, breaking his camera in a fit of anger. She says that he made her watch a movie so violently that she fainted, and that he tried to force her to perform sexual acts with another woman on camera. Perhaps the most horrible thing, he locked her in the bedroom, tied her to a prayer kneeler. A prayer, if you're not familiar with the Catholic Church, maybe it's a good thing that you're not, but I am. So it's a piece of wood pretty much on the floor that you just put your knees in there and pray. And this is very old school. Nobody does that anymore here. But I'm not surprised that he also has those type of things, because he's been known to collect weird stuff like that. So I'm not that surprised the Manson has a kneel prayer on his living room. But she said that he forced her there. You see, that's the part that I don't believe. I don't believe that he forced her and he forced her to stay there. And then she was electrocuted. I talked about the violet one before, and how the violet one is really not that, it's not even an object that it will melt your skin or burn you or scratch you or pinch you. It's just a little bit of a vibration, in the same that you would get from a full massage, electric, manual full massage, same thing. Or those things that usually girls get or guys do, that it removes your dead cells from your skin, and it does this whole little bit of electric tinkling thing to it. That's all it does. She said it was the violet one. She should have picked another sex toy that was more hardcore than that one, because I looked that up, and there's people on YouTube like using it on each other's arm and stuff, and it's the most harmless thing. It doesn't even cause pain. It's a little bit of a ticklish thing. So that's what she calls electrocution. She said that was being electrocuted. Then they should be okay, well, so he was breaking cameras. I believe maybe he broke a camera. I believe that maybe he got mad and broke a camera. That's like saying, it's the same thing with Johnny Depp, when he was mad and he was like throwing stuff from the cabinets in the kitchen. And well, yeah, I believe that. But that's a person who maybe he has to go to anger management program. But that doesn't mean he's a rapist, and it doesn't mean he's a torturer and a rapist and a human trafficker. It just means that maybe he just has a little bit of a problem with that, and then he was getting off drugs, and he was really at that point, because I know when she's talking about 2011, he was all over the place, and maybe that is part of it. So this table. So after this happened, this was funny. Not funny, but this happened, and then you will think after this happened that she'll be like, hell no, I'm not going back to his house ever again. And she will go back to her husband, her sister, her brother, take refugee and the people that she knows that she cares about. Well, she didn't do that. She stayed here in California and actually had a long distance relationship with him, because they wouldn't meet. But then they met 2 years after. That little detail is ridiculous, because not only if she was scared of her life and all that stuff that happened, and she finally escaped, because she called escaped, the electrocution and the torture and everything in May 2009, she would go back home and go back to the husband wasn't a husband anymore, but it still go back to her friends, her mom and dad, whatever. No, she stayed in the States around him. And I think that's very I think that just speaks really bad of her and how it's not doesn't make sense. If she was so traumatized, why she wouldn't go back to where she's from. Um, that is another thing. The whole thing has so many like just holes in it. Um, so yeah, so they maintained a long distance relationship until April 2011, when he asked Esme to move to LA permanently and said he will secure her a visa. Another thing. Okay, so yeah, okay. According to the filing, she lived with him until she reached her breaking point 2.5 months later. Again, so this girl Ashley worked for him for only 6 months. She lived with him for only 2 months and a half. I don't think that you can get the full scope of a person, what the person is going through in such a short time. I don't think so, but okay. And the fact that he was working on her visa, Marilyn Manson, again, I don't know what they're making him sound like he's James Bond or something. Like he has power over the government, and the immigration is a government thing. It's not like you go like, "Hey, I know this girl that wants to stay in the country. Can you hook me up?" It doesn't work like that. It's a serious deal. So she's saying that he had part of it, and he was making threats like, "If you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to mess with your visa," and the visa was related to work, so she can make movies and stuff. So I don't think he did all that. I don't think that he was gaslighting her or messing with her, telling her, "I'm going to take your visa away." I don't think Manson is that powerful. I don't think he's powerful enough to do that to anybody. So that's what she says. And on one occasion, Miss Warner chased. Oh, then another thing that he supposedly, allegedly, chased her around the apartment with an axe and smashing holes on the walls. This could be or could not be true. And if it's true, maybe it was for that video that they were supposed to be making. But I don't know, like 50-50 on that. I don't know. The lawsuit claims on another occasion, Manson cut her with a Nazi knife during sex. Why they have to say a Nazi knife? See what they're going, so they're trying so hard for the shock. Again, he's been known for collecting knives and stuff and collecting Nazi memorabilia. Would I will do it? I will do that? No, hell no. I wouldn't even touch those things. But he is into collecting stuff like that. So again, I don't think that's so strange that he had that knife. And then she said she was cut during sex. And then he posted pictures online without her consent. Sent it to her friends and bandmates and roadies and assistants and producers and other colleagues witnessed various aspects of this abuse, and she was very ashamed by it because he would send these pictures of the aftermath of the sex when she's all cut and stuff to his friends and to everybody else. The cut, it's really hard to talk about these things because I really don't want to make her sound like a monster, but she's making him sound like a monster. It's not fair. So but I say this, if she was into all these fetishes, all this bondage stuff, there is such a thing as biting fetish. There's a thing as blood fetish. It's not okay. It's not cool. I don't do that, but whatever. There is such a thing as cutting. There's the thing as spanking, whipping. All these things that she said that happened to her are things that are not illegal on the sense of an intimate relationship if there's consent. And we can agree if it's messed up or not, if it's not your cup of tea, it's not my cup of tea, whatever. But it's not illegal to do that with your boyfriend. And they obviously work together. She was staying in his place. So it's going to be really hard for her to prove that this happened the way she said it happened. Because like he said in his Instagram account, that was the last post that we have from him, that he says that these allegations are a horrible distortion of the truth. Because so he's trying to imply that this stuff did happen, but not the way that they're saying that it happened. So I think that's it. she fainted. So this is a girl who was doing bondage, and it was doing like a lot of blood bondage and stuff, and she was putting masks on people. This is from Torture Garden videos. I'm not going to show that. You go look it up. And she was like doing some type of like, some scary looking stuff, and she fainted from a movie when she was no. I mean, she was working in Game of Thrones, and she was, remember that character? Like, she got really hard time on that. I mean, it was, oh my God. So she fainted from watching a movie, but she could deal with everything else. It's really strange. And you know what's messed up is that happened in 2011, where she claimed that chasing her with an axe. She was in the closet calling her family, 2011, and all that, and then she finally escaped, and start telling her family about it. But guess what? After that, she still didn't go back to the UK. She stayed around, and then they probably were not on speaking terms, because he probably was like, what the hell, you're crazy. She was probably, what the hell, you're crazy. Just like relationship, problems. And then they, for some weird reason, she went to a show in 2015. Remember, she supposedly allegedly got abused and raped in 2011. So she went to his show in 2015, and there are not pictures of the show, of her on the show, but there are people that say that she was on the tour bus, like a lot of the people were, and just it was okay. Everything was okay. She was the ex-girlfriend of the guy, but she was still invited. She was in speaking terms with him. 2015. This is like the same crap when Amy Roger Wood talks good about Manson in 2014. And after years and years of this happening, she said that he still inspires her and all that. It's the same thing. It's like the timeline is ridiculous. So she went to, you don't go to his, why would you go to his show? I mean, you like his music so much that you would go to his show, even if he abuse you and torture you and electrocute you and human traffic you and all this stuff. You go to the guy's show just like that and hang out at the tour bus. No, that's what did it. Like, a lot of things did it for me, but when she said human traffic, and then I found out that she actually went to his show in 2015. It makes no sense. And then added to all this from Ashley Waters, which is her friend, which is the person that I put on that picture on my thumbnail. Yeah, she's kind of not I don't want to say a nobody, but she's behind the scenes. She's a photographer. That's why people don't know her face that much. But again, Ashley Waters make a statement on the 1st of February, and Ashley Waters took this picture of Esme Bianco wearing the stockings that say "whip me." It doesn't even say "love me" or "kiss me" or whatever. Happy Valentine's Day. It says "whip me, bite me" on her legs. And who took the picture? Ashley. And who liked the picture? Manson. Because it was all good. See, it was all good until it wasn't anymore. This is they're following the Amber Heard tutorial big time. They're not married to him, so I don't know how are they gonna get any money. Like Amber got the $7 million. I don't know how they're gonna get any money from the guy, but it's pretty embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, it's bad. So just look it up, Ashley Waters on Instagram, and you see what I'm talking about. That she is a piece of work. Not only she's friends with Ilma Gore, which is Emma Roger's ex-girlfriend, but also she's friends with Esme, and Esme is buddies with Emma Roger Wood. It's all related, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think these people live in the same country. We live in the same town. It's big. This thing is big. You don't go and see the same person in the store twice in LA. It's big. So from all the friendships they can have, it's not a coincidence they all friend each other. And they're all their exes. Minus, well, Ashley Waters is not an ex, she's an ex-assistant. And the things that she said are ridiculous. And the most ridiculous thing about Esme, everything is ridiculous, but when she talks about unpaid labor, I laugh. Because it's funny, like, to be somebody's girlfriend and call it unpaid labor. So that's it for now, just for now, until somebody files something else. Oh, the response from his lawyer. Okay. Oh, shoot. It went all the way down. And I don't want to troll these people. Oh, I went all the way down. His lawyer says something of the sorts of, this is a lawsuit that is civil, not criminal. And that probably they're doing this because Brian Warner didn't, he refused to play her game and give her the money she was asking for. It doesn't say the amount of money, but I'm sure it's a big chunk of money. And good for him for not settling things down and saying, here's this money, shut up. Because if he does that, he's gonna look as guilty as Michael Jackson back in the 90s. So good for him for not caving in and the requests. But I'm sure the requests are pretty crazy, and the amount of money is probably not 7 million, but probably close to that. Lawsuit could be criminal or civil. This is a civil lawsuit. That is really what shows you that it's not such a big deal as I'm making it look like it is. Let's see if they go to court for this. Maybe they won't even go to court for it, because usually people mediate. It doesn't happen with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was like paying people and just kind of not to deal with it, because he was so fragile in his brain he couldn't deal with it. He was paying people even if he wasn't guilty of certain things. He still was paying them to just to put the thing, get it away from me. And I'm glad the Manson is not doing that, because that's going to make him look guilty and it's going to make him look dirty. And I don't think he's guilty. So that's my main goal I'm focusing on right now, because there's so much on Evan Rachel Wood, and there's so much on Amber Heard, and there's not a lot on Esme Bianco and Ashley Waters. And I'm going to talk about Ashley Morgan. They're not the same. They're different Ashleys, but they're all in this together, which is a model from LA that she also has bad things to say about him. Same, the torture, the rape, the gaslighting, all those keywords that they use. They call that in court, they call that buzzwords. So it's like those words that they're, when somebody said that stuff, it's a buzzword. And it's like, oh, wait. So they're using these buzzwords. They know exactly what they're doing. It sounds ridiculous to me and to a lot of people on YouTube. It's really cool that a lot of people don't believe the girls, but they, in a way, they know what they're doing. They're using the words they're supposed to be using. Again, it's impossible to show that he human trafficked you if you don't have the evidence that he did. And it's really hard to show that you were being used as unpaid labor. You don't have proof of that. Do you have audio? There's any audio of him yelling at you to pick up the house and make him a cheeseburger? There's any, if there was audio, I'm sure she will post it. Look what she posts on her Instagram. She's all about the posting. If there was audio of him saying things to her, she would have posted already. She would have it. She would show it off. Look at her. That is her. She posts stuff like this. Don't you think that she will post, worse things than that? She's posting the crying picture and saying my eyelashes are falling off from stress. I'm telling you that if you cry, your makeup doesn't look like that, unless you just rub it on because you're about to take a really sad selfie of yourself. So yeah, as for that, just getting mad. I hate it. I'm not mad. I'm just not that mad. I think it's sad that somebody can just be, through the mud like this for something that they didn't do. And even if people should be 50-50 about this. You don't have to believe the guy completely, but at least be 50-50 about it. Don't just go and just believe them because they're women and because they have a story. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe this is just a story. And again, they're actresses. So don't say to me that, oh, well, they cry in their declaration. I saw them crying in court. They're actresses, for fuck's sakes. They know how to cry. So the whole thing about they really mean it. If it was a girl from the street, any walk of life, not an actor, okay, you can use that crying thing as a maybe. They're cry on cue because they know what they're doing with their face. They're actresses. They know that's how they make a living. They cry, they laugh, they pretend to like things they don't like. They lie for a living. That's what actors do. So no disrespect to actors. Actors are amazing. But that's kind of why I don't take it so serious. It's not like, a nurse is saying this. It's not like, his property manager is saying this. The manager of the building that he live at is saying this. No, actresses are saying this. And they can be as fake as they can be, because that's their job. So I hope that that's been taken into consideration. And I love that his attorney finally showed up and said that this was just a distortion and this didn't happen. And he said, we will prevail, something like that. He said that he couldn't wait until they go to court because he knows, not Manson, I don't think Manson's even talking to nobody now, but his lawyer said that they're going to prevail. I think they're going to prevail. And it's probably going to take years. Like the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing, it kind of seemed so obvious when it showed. It was like, oh yeah, he got it. He got this. Yeah, he's going to win. She's a liar. But look what happened after. UK happened, 2020, COVID happened, and it delayed everything. And then the schedules that they have shooting different movies delayed everything. And now it's not going on until 2022 in Virginia. I think the Manson thing is going to be the same. It's going to take a couple years. And through that time, the guy is going to have maybe a few loyal people around, maybe. But I mean, it sucks. When you're going to go outside and people are going to throw something at you and they're going to call you a rapist because they recognize your face everywhere if you are Marilyn Manson. Can you imagine that? And I don't care that he has a lot of money and he doesn't have to work a day of his life. Maybe he likes to do that. And maybe it's like Johnny. Johnny doesn't have to work, but he probably likes to work. So stopping somebody's livelihood and ability to work and cancel them just based on words, because all this is words. The pictures that we have, this is the evidence. This is evidence? No, this is not evidence. This is what she calls evidence. It's not. It's just so not. No doctor reports. These three girls, the three of them said they have post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety and panic attacks, and there's no doctor's reports on that. And there's no doctor saying, well, yeah, she's my patient and she takes this, she takes that, and she goes to therapy once a week. Where is all that? So do you have to believe anybody at face value because they say they have something? No, you don't. People are just becoming puppets. You don't have to believe anybody. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe anybody just because somebody says, oh, I have this, I have that. It's kind of shady to be like, well, you have this, well, prove it. But at the same time, it's necessary to be like that. That's logical and that's common sense, and that's how the court works. You don't, and on Instagram, yeah, you can just say, I have this, I have that, nobody's gonna call you for it. But in court, she's gonna have to prove all of them, Evan, Richard Wood, Esme Bianco, and Ashley Waters. The three of them are gonna have to prove that they have post-traumatic disorder and stress caused by him. It's impossible to prove that it was caused by one person. Because these things do exist, and maybe these girls do have these disorders. They're not caused by one person. No way. They're caused by the environment, sometimes your parents, plus the ex-boyfriends or the girlfriends or the work environment. Oh my God, there's so many things that can cause it. There's a genetic predisposition of it. If your mom has it or your dad has it, you probably have it. There's a lot of things to it. Oh no, it has to be his fault. That's just pretty silly. It's silly, and it's ignorant. And I think they're banking on the fact that people are usually ignorant about mental health. But the good thing is that you got YouTube, and you have a lot of people on YouTube. They're really they're big, gigantic, like that Umbrella guy. He's my favorite guy. And all the people, they're gigantic and they have so many subscribers. And these guys are putting the truth out there, guys and girls. And it's great. Because even if you don't know anything about Manson, because you never like him, and you're like, what the hell, this weirdo guy? This can teach people that it doesn't matter who you look like. It doesn't matter. It should not be an easy target. Johnny is weird and he has an alcohol problem, so he's an easy target. Manson is weird. He's like a vampire and he has addiction problems, so he's an easy target. That's not proof. His lyrics are not proof. His music videos are not proof. That is just most of a witch hunt. That is just throwing somebody under the bus because they don't like the way they look or you don't like the songs they made. It's just not right, especially when that is their job, to make those songs. And to make the songs as shocking as he can is his job. It's what he does. So now they're using some songs against him too. They're using lyrics against him. It doesn't really, it's not as surprising because back in when Columbine shooting happened, one of the worst things that happened here in America, it was horrible. They put it on him. They pinned it on him and Ozzy Osbourne because the kids did it like Manson, and they have a Manson t-shirt, and the other kid has an Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath t-shirt, t-shirt. So of course they're gonna blame it on they blame it on Manson, they blame it on the video games, instead of saying, well, what did we did wrong with these kids as parents, or the counselor, the kids therapist, if they have any, or not. What did we did? What are we doing wrong for these people to commit those acts? Or it has to be a rock star's fault? No, that is a simplistic view of life, and I can't handle it. I can't. It's too simple, and it's too dumb. So I hope that more people think the way we think, and then maybe it's gonna take a couple years for him to clean his name. It is what it is. If it takes whatever it takes, I hope that he doesn't give anybody money and try to settle. Guess that will look really bad. And I hope he fights it off. He just fights. He needs to fight it. Just the same with Johnny. So I'm gonna make another video in a little bit after I make some food. I'm gonna send my unpaid labor children. They're not here today. I won't be making a video about this if they were here. They'll come here this weekend. I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna tell my son, because he's my unpaid labor person, to go make me some chicken nuggets and stuff. Yeah, and that will be explosion. Like the thing is, it implies to in a relationship, even if it's within two people, they're into the same stuff, like biting and spanking and tying up. It's part of it. And if you look it up, you can go to fetish.com. I already had, and I looked it up at the violet one and everything that they were using, and the electrocution she's defining. No, it's not electrocution. It's just a tickling sensation that is the same as a massage. Tell you. You can go to fetish.com or anywhere and just look at the rules and look at a list of things that people do and things that are out of question and things that you can do if you have agreements and you consent. I think Esme consent to absolutely everything, and now she's trying to make it sound like she didn't because she is embarrassed or ashamed, or something like that, and also because of what the oldest reason in the book ever is: the money, the dollar. Yep. I mean, now more than ever, she is not some type of poster girl from domestic violence or rape or abuse. She's not. The moment that she asks for money, she is showing everybody that she's not doing it for the right reasons. And we know what happened when you ask for money, you get it. Amber got $7 million and she didn't donate it to charities. She only donated $100,000. My other video I made about how that was a joke. But who knows who donated the rest? Probably was Elon Musk or something, but it wasn't her. So I'm gonna go make something to eat, and thanks for watching, if you're watching or whatever. And I'll be back later on a little bit with some Amber Heard stuff that it caught my attention even more, because this is kind of like, this stuff is new and it's reminding me of the older stuff. And I'm trying to make sense of what I just said later. Thank you.